everyone! In today's video we're going to be going over a card I made for my friend Kari with the hashtag bear cards for dad. So I grabbed this cute little bear from a stamp set from Avery L, and also this cute little hugs. It's got the shadow bit and the actual word die. It doesn't show very well in this because they all managed to layer on top of each other. And I also wanted to use this rainbow. I have the die for that, but I have not used the stamp just yet. So I had a cute little idea and I thought, I'm just going to put that together because Kari recently, unfortunately, lost her dad. And he loved bears. And on the day that he passed, she made him a bear card. And now she wants to have 74 cards to mark every year of his life to kind of just celebrate his life and, do something nice that will help her with the grief. So I completely get that. And I'm here for it, Kari. I'm here for you. And we are gonna, well, I say we, but I'm gonna make this card just for you. So I have stamped up my rainbow and also the bear with Copic friendly ink on Copic friendly paper because we're going to be doing some Copic coloring. You can see here I'm squeezing in my little bits and pieces onto where it will take up the least amount of space because I'm really trying to make a huge effort to have less waste, whether that be household waste or crafty waste, it's all the same. So I'm really trying to kind of be a little bit more considerate and thoughtful with how I make my stuff. But now that we have the images all stamped up, it is time to color. So of course, a rainbow has to be colorful and bright and happy. So I have used a lot of markers to make this happen. And I'm actually kind of loving this sort of half traditional, half kind of different color for the rainbow, and I really love how that turned out. So we're definitely going to be using that. And then we are going to be, of course, making the bear. The bear has to look like a bear, so the bear is going to be brown. And then we are going to just have a little look-see at those. And then the die cuts we are going to use to cut the bear out. And then I had a cute idea. So I cut out the bear and the paws first. And then I used the stamp set to kind of mark exactly where the bear was going to get cut, because I basically wanted him to kind of look like he's popping up from the clouds, like in between the rainbow and the cloud. And then the little paws are going to be covering up the sort of, not messy corners, but the bits where it just doesn't quite look right, So that is basically the idea where the bear is going to go. And this was a rather good idea, but there was a little bit of a problem with that because I wanted to use some other bits and pieces. But first we're going to actually add a little bit of color to the background. So I wanted just a few sort of greeny, turquoisey blue clouds. So first I'm going to make a mask with this woodware masking sheet. And these are the ones out of all the masking stuff that I have ever tried. This is my favorite. It's really easy to stamp up on. It's really easy to cut out. And as a non-fan of fussy cutting, it's so simple. So I am a big fan of this stuff. Although I did not quite get the stamping right there, but oh well, we're just gonna go with it. So the whole idea is basically just to kind of keep the cloud and the rainbow sort of clear from any ink blending and just keep a nice clean line. So we're going to pop that on top of the actual rainbow itself and just kind of make sure that, especially the white stuff, although the cloud bit itself, which is where I managed to not stamp in the correct place, is what we're going to be saving. So I'm using Cloud Builder Stencil from Pink Frost Studios, and I'm also using Sky Blue and Ocean Breeze ink. So I'm blending these very lightly with a couple of different blender brushes from Pink Frost Studios to get that really light, soft blend. And then we're going to cut out just a little bit of that. But then I'm going to circle back to the whole hugs bit. So even though I really like the idea of what I did with the bear, using the stamp set to sort of show where the lines were going to go so that he's like popping up over the cloud like, hey, bear dad, you know, Hair Bear Dad. That didn't sound right, but you know, I'm hoping you get what I mean. So I should have actually checked where I wanted to place the hugs first, because it does have that lovely background on like this shadowy bit, but it ended up so that I placed the bear so I couldn't actually use it without actually cutting his paw, and you know, you don't want to cut a paw off a poor little bear, do you? I mean, that's just rude. So we did have to rethink things a little bit. But this is the fun part of masking, the reveal. I love that. Even though you can already see what you've done with the ink blending, it's just so brilliant. And this stuff, another reason why I really love this stuff is that it's like super tacky, but it doesn't rip your paper. So you can just save that and reuse it for the next time. So this is what I mean with the hugs bit. So I ended up having to scrap the part where to use this sort of the shadowy bit, because I just couldn't make it work. It just like I was so annoyed with myself, but like just have to move on. So we're gonna definitely be using the hugs. But then I thought, okay, well, you know what? I can use the older letter style from Concord and Night, and I can spell out the word bear. So originally I was just going to use the hugs, and I was kind of sort of, it's going to be like, you know, the bear is there, so it's going to be a bear hug. But then I thought, okay, well, let's just make it a little bit more literal. But then, of course, you know, if you're going to do this, you're going to make sure that everything is on straight. So with the help of my grid mat and a ruler, I made sure that I placed all my my letters in like a straight line, and then we're going to cut those out. But my cutting plates are so worn that everything's just stuck to them. So we had to do a little bit of like paper surgery. And then we are also going to be adding in, or we're going to be popping up those letters with some foam. So in the card, on the card, the whole thing, if we're going to put that on a white card base, and then we're going to glue down the panel first, and then you might have noticed that I put down a lot of double-sided tape. So I didn't have to add like hardly any extra glue, but there was a little bit at the top where the letters weren't just quite sort of covered. And then you just layer all that up, glue on the top, and there you go. So it's kind of subtle, but if you look, you can see it. So I'm going to pop this card in the mail to Kari, and hopefully it will bring her a little bit of sort of joy, and just knowing that someone is thinking of her in these hard times. It really does make a difference knowing that someone is there with you and just thinking of you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will link everything down below as usual. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and maybe even the notification button so you don't miss another one of my videos.